Hey, ladies and gentlemen. Today, let's have one more English study session by watching, analyzing, and going deep into Kendall Jenner's speech.
Stop. This was Coachella 2016. This was the vibe at the time, okay? You need to understand. Would I wear this now to Coachella or anywhere? I don't think so. But you know what? I was feeling myself then, and that's okay. And that's all I have to say about this. Look, we can move on.
Her first sentence was stop. This was Coachella 2016. And to pronounce years like that, like 2016, you say the first two digits as a number and the last two digits as another number, which sounds like 2016, 1978, 2019, 1977, and so on.
Stop. This was Coachella 2016. This was the vibe at the time, okay?
Stop, this was Coachella 2016. This was the vibe at the time, okay? Oh, look, she uses the word vibe in her speech. And vibe is a very common word in casual English, especially in pop culture, which means atmosphere, feeling, energy. Like the restaurant has a cozy vibe. The restaurant has a cozy vibe. The restaurant has a nice vibe.
2016. This was the vibe at the time, okay?
And look, this was the vibe at the time. At the time here means back then, in that specific period of the past. It doesn't literally mean at that clock time, but more like during that phase, in that moment of life.
This was the vibe at the time, okay? You need to understand. Would I wear this now to Coachella or anywhere? I don't.
And here she says, you need to understand. You need to understand. We can use the connected speech technique here, which is a way to link the sound and speak more naturally like the native speakers, or not only to speak like them, but for you to understand how the language sound in practice and listen to the people more easily. So you need to understand we have a letter D in the end, and in the beginning of the other word, we have T. You need to. Instead of saying need to, they say need, need, need. You need to understand. And then you link it as one sound. So the sentence sounds like a word. You need to understand. You need to understand. One sound. You need to understand. Would I wear this now to Coachella or anywhere? So here she uses a rhetorical question. And this would I structure is a way to reflect or speculate. Would I? Would I go there? Would I wear this? Would I talk to them in this way? Would I do that again? Probably not. I'm reflecting, I'm sleeping on it.
Would I wear this now to Coachella or anywhere? I don't think so. But you know what? I was feeling myself then, and that's okay. And that's all I have to say about this. Look, we can move on.
And I don't think so is a super common way to disagree or answer negatively without being harsh. Example, do you like pineapple on pizza? I don't think so. And here she's restarting her speech using an English chunk. An English chunk is a ready-made sentence that you can memorize it and use it daily all the time in common occasions, like a fixed expression that native speakers use all the time. It's a way to introduce a thought, an opinion, or even a sudden change in perspective. But you know what? So when you want to flow and sound naturally, start your sayings, start your speaking using, but you know what? But you know what? And then after you expose your ideas and your opinion, it's conversational, friendly, and makes a speech feel natural. Learners can use it to sound spontaneous, like when shifting gears in a conversation. Other than that, she's using I was feeling myself. I was feeling myself. It's an idiom. It's an expression that means I was confident. I liked how I looked. And when I say I was feeling myself or I'm feeling myself, it's not literally I was touching myself. It's just a way to say that I am or I was feeling confident. She was feeling herself after winning the game. She was feeling herself after winning the game. That is to say, she was really confident after winning the game.
I was feeling myself then, and that's okay. And that's all I have to say about this. Look, we can move on.
That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say about. That's all I have to say about. It's a very useful and good way to close a topic and make a transition. When you're trying to find a way to conclude what you're saying, that's all I have to say about can be a very useful English chunk. That's all I have to say about this look. And look here doesn't mean to see, use your eyes to see something. No, look here means outfit, style, appearance, the way someone is dressed. In fashion celebrity talk, people often say, her red carpet look was stunning. Her red carpet look was stunning. This look is very 90s. This look is very 90s. So, Kendall is basically saying, that's all I have to say about this outfit style I was wearing. Other than that, in the end, she uses the phrasal verb, we can move on. We can move on. And move on here means to change the subject, stop talking about something, and go to the next topic. She's reviewing old outfits, so after finishing her thoughts on this one, she says, we can move on. Let's go to the next look. But depending on the context, the phrasal verb move on has a different meaning. As I told you, change the subject, go to the next thing. Like, let's move on to the next question. And the second meaning is emotionally recover, leave something in the past. For example, it was a tough breakup, but I've moved on. It was a tough breakup, but I've moved on. Like, I'm over it now. And the third meaning or context is literally keep walking, continue moving. The police told the crowd to move on. The police told the crowd to move on. Now I challenge you to watch the full video again with all this English understanding.
Stop. This was Coachella 2016. This was the vibe at the time, okay? You need to understand. Would I wear this now to Coachella or anywhere? I don't think so. But you know what? I was feeling myself then, and that's okay. And that's all I have to say about this. Look, we can move on.
And if you enjoyed this English study session with me, definitely you're gonna learn a lot from this one with Hailey Bieber.